I've been looking real close at this transcript from those two boys sitting up in that cold study room, and child, the first thing I thought was, these boys done built themselves a porch without even knowing it. Laptop glow hitting their faces like they gathered round a little fire they started just to keep the world off them. It ain't wooden nails, it's blue light and bad posture, but baby, it's the same old human thing. A porch is a porch if the talk is good enough. Now, hear me on this. Folks think conversation is about content. They think it's about the topic, the facts, the information. But down in Eatonville, I learned early that most talk ain't about what you say at all. It's about the sound. It's about how the sound dances in the air between people. These boys, Lord, they sling and sound like they in a baseball game. Back and forth, up and down, bro to bro, like the word is a warm quilt they keep pulling over each other, so nobody freezes. They not truly discussing food or AI or startups or any of that. Those are just decorations on the tree. What they really doing is feeling each other's rhythm. They trying out tones. They stretching their vowels like musicians bending notes. They toss jokes into the air just to see what comes floating back. It reminded me of them porch storytellers who didn't need a plot or a lesson. All they needed was one another and a little space for the language to swing its hips. Every time one of those boys says, "Bro," I smile. Because, honey, that's a porch holler if I ever heard one. That's a call meaning I hear you. I'm standing with you. Don't you leave me hanging. That bro is a handshake and a hug, all compressed tight into one small breath. Amazing, really, how language can get so tiny, yet hold so much. And think on this now. They got no elders leaning out from the shadows listening for the punchline. They got no neighbors strolling by ready to add a story or stir the pot. No moonlight drifting in. No screen door creaking. But look what they do anyway. They making community out of thin air. They making warmth out of cold room silence. They making a soft place to land out of jokes and foolishness. Same way we used to do it when we had no heat but a good yarn. These boys hide their worries behind laughter. They tuck their fears inside their slang. They talk fast because quiet feels too sharp. They laugh off heartbreak, laugh off rejection, laugh off being broke, because that humor is a shield and a blanket and a little spark of courage. That's old porch tradition. When life got heavy, you didn't start with tears. You started with a joke. You found your way back to rhythm. And I love how their dialect shifts and slides. Startup talk 1 minute, frat boy talk the next, internet talk woven in like extra thread. That's their homegrown vernacular. Eatonville had elders teaching us how to talk. These boys got memes, apps, and algorithms doing the work. But honey, a vernacular is a vernacular. Doesn't matter if it come from the front steps or the For You page. It all gets shaped by the community that uses it. You see, porch talk is about finding a way to belong to one another. And that's exactly what these boys do. Every wild sentence, every curse word tossed like seasoning, every slide from nonsense to something real. And back again, it's all part of the performance. It's their way of saying, I trust you enough to be messy near you. I trust you enough to be silly and restless and tired. They don't call it ritual, but that's what it is. They don't call it communion, but they in one. They don't say the word warmth, but they build in it with every sound they push into the air. That hunger to belong, that reach for connection, that little spark that jumps between folks when they talk. Baby, that ain't changed since Eatonville. That ain't changed since before stories had pages. So let me speak plain. Those boys sitting in that study cave with 4 laptops, humming ain't any different from folks sitting under the Florida sun on a saggy porch with a jug of cold water and nothing but time. They talking to stay alive. They talking to stay human. They talking to keep the cold off their hearts. And that is porch talk through and through. That is people holding each other up with sound. And I do believe that's as human as it gets.